So how was your NCERT classes experience? All done? Did you also revise the NCERT books on your own? You know, there's this thing called revision. You have to go back home and then you take your notes and you revise. Oh, you revised? Great, great. Have you received some handouts today? Some printouts? Okay, you will get it right now and we'll just explain how to proceed. What things were covered? History is done for NCERT? No? Done history? Geography? Only polity was done. And apart from that? Oh. Indian history is going on. What is the timing for that? Actually, in the evening. So, you will get these handouts and this is your notes. Okay. The handout has ample space deliberately left for you to write on these handouts only. Okay, that is the whole point. So, before we begin, this basic idea that, rather than wasting excessive time in writing most basic things, we would focus on writing important aspects in the class. So these notes also become your own notes. Plus, not to waste time in writing, the president has this function, that function, it's all mentioned. Okay, that's the idea. So for every module, you will get these handouts and this is what you have as far as notes are concerned. Of course, this is just introduction. So just 2 pages of basic information. So we'll come back to that. And let's begin. Okay, let's see how to proceed and then we'll further discuss some details. So our cause of concern, I forgot. Our cause of concern is GS paper 2 in your mains exam. And GS paper 2 has 4 different topics. The first one is polity and constitution. Then we have governance, social justice and international relations. Clear? 4 different aspects. So this class is devoted to polity and constitution. Okay. So, just a couple of days back, I took an orientation. I'm not sure whether you saw it or not. It is an online thing. In any UPSC class, now this is a UPSC class going on, the basics are done. So we have to get serious now on what exactly is the need of the exam. The first and foremost thing is when you come here and you join any UPSC class, not just here, any other place, there are 3 things that are of key importance to you. The first one is knowing why you are studying this subject. Okay. The importance of the subject itself. And now, how do you know whether some subject is important or not? Because you feel it is important? Of course, that can't be a good metric, right? The feeling that this subject is very important is not a sufficient reason. Okay. So, how do we measure it? Very simple. We see how many questions have been asked from this topic in the last few years. If today you come to know that from polity, you only get 1 question in the prelims and mains exam, you won't devote 100 hours into studying polity, right? It's an unimportant subject. If you come to know that you're getting 15 questions from it, then possibly you might think that, oh, this is an important subject. So let's firstly see the number of questions asked from this topic. So, just a minute. So, these are the questions asked from polity and constitution over the course of so many years. So I hope you're aware, prelims 100 marks, every question 2 marks, so total 200 marks. Now you can see these are not marks, these are number of questions. Out of 100, these many questions have been asked from polity. So you can see sometimes you have rough years like 2016. In 2016, of course, the number of questions asked were quite less, just 6 questions. I also thought, should I stop teaching polity because of low contribution? But then the very next year we had 22 questions from polity. And over the course of the last few years, we have, I think, found that rough balance, 15 to 20 questions. Expect anywhere from 15 to 20 questions. So I am referring to 30 to 40 marks devoted to polity in the prelims exam. And just to clarify, the cutoff, what is cutoff? The marks you need to get to clear the prelims and enter the main stage. The cutoff in UPSC has been coming down. I mean, it was as high as 116 in certain years. Then it came down to 105 marks roughly. Then it came down to 98 marks in these 2 years. For the first time, cutoff came under 100 out of 200. And then we have seen the cutoff declining. In fact, so much so that cutoff in 2023 was 75 out of 200. In 24, it was 87. In fact, this time also in 2026, people are claiming that the cutoff is going to be around 70 to 75 out of 200. That means around 40% marks. Clear? Knowing cutoff is important because this will help you realize that you don't need to score 80-90% marks. This is not your 10th or 12th exam. Okay. In your 10th and 12th, you score 95% marks, 98% marks. Have you seen the toppers? Toppers are getting 99.8% marks, right? And they're still sad that they lost 0.2% marks. Let them come to UPSC. Here, topper get 50% marks. So this also helps us understand that our expectations when we practice any kind of test paper or mock test should be very clear. That we aim for a 100 plus score. And if let's say the cutoff is 80 and some subject is contributing 40 marks, that is almost 50% of cutoff. Now, the advantage of polity in the exam is that in the prelims exam, polity is slightly on the easier side. So your target should be to score 80 to 90% in polity. That is what most aspirants who clear the exam do. So 15 to 20 questions, and our target has to be to score at least 80% correct in this. Okay. So every mock test we take in the class, please aim for getting a score of at least 80%, meaning 8 out of 10 questions should be correct. That is your target for polity. Is the point clear? Okay. The same thing goes for main exam also. In the main exam, you have around 100 marks worth questions. So the main paper, that is the GS paper 2, has 250 marks. Is the point clear? So total paper is worth 250 marks. Out of which you can see very well in the last, this is a line of 100. In the last few years, we have consistently scored, seen questions more than 100 marks. In fact, 115 marks, 110 marks questions. So please expect more than 100 marks questions in your GS mains exam from polity and constitution. Is the point clear? So roughly around, these are marks, not the number of questions, of course. So roughly 110 plus marks in polity. This is the rough idea. Is the point clear? So I hope now you understand that polity is really important for the exam. In fact, amongst the big 4 or any other subject in your UPSC, except just one subject, and that is ethics. Ethics has its own paper. Beyond that, amongst all the subjects, the biggest contribution is from polity only. Is the point clear? So bring all the notes and keep it here. They can just come and take it every time. The last girl sitting, just give her one copy now. Okay. So the point is clear that huge contribution. So first question is answered, why we study a subject. Now second thing that is required for us to be known, and it is very important for the next few days when you come, please do this task also every day before you come to the class, the syllabus. Knowing what exactly is the syllabus of the exam. Clear? So in our prelims exam, this is what the syllabus is. I know nothing is mentioned. We are not really sure what exactly these words mean. What is the meaning of all these words? Highly unclear, the syllabus, I would say, for the exam. So you have Indian Polity. What is the meaning of polity? Since we are here to study polity, what is the meaning of polity? Polity simply means form of government. So we are going to study about the Indian form of government. Form of government. In your sheet only, circle and write there form of government. Okay. So these sheets are your notes. Excuse me. Just take one copy from hand. So these sheets are your notes. So write on this only freely. Okay. Indian polity and governance. Constitution. They have used this word constitution as if the entire rule book is required. Not really. Then they say political system, the system of governance in our country. Then Panchayati Raj. So we have this system called local self-government. Panchayati Raj and municipalities are called local bodies. Okay. Then public policy and rights issues. Rights issues refers to topics like fundamental rights, DPSPs, etc. These kind of topics. That is what is meant by this topic called rights issues. Is the point clear? Now, this is not really very clear as a syllabus because we are still confused what exactly do we need to study. But if you look at the main syllabus, there UPSC has expanded things on what they expect the aspirant to know. So slightly more defined mains syllabus. So in the main syllabus, we mention the Indian Constitution, historical underpinnings, evolution. So how this rule book has come into being. So in your modern history classes, in your UPSC classes, you'll be studying about topics like Regulating Act and Charters Act and Indian Councils Act and Government of India Act, etc. This entire topic will be covered in your modern history. Okay? There you'll be taught all these things. Then features of our Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is the largest, the lengthiest constitution. Okay. It has around 1.2 lakh words. It is amongst the countries, Indian Constitution is the largest. Then amendments. What is amendment? Any idea? Change, modifications, right? That's the beauty of our book. The Constitution allows for modifications. You can change it. In fact, so far we have made 106 changes. Since 1950, we have made 106 amendments. And because our Constitution allows for amendments, we call our Constitution as a living document. Living. What is the sign of a living being? It grows. Okay. Same way. So, the Indian Constitution is a living document. So don't worry, all 106 changes are not required to be known. Don't panic at all. To give you a simple example, there are so many changes which are just cosmetic changes. For example, there is a language. So we have a lot of official languages, like Telugu is an official language in our country. Hindi is an official language. There is one official language called Odia. It's spoken in Odisha. Now, earlier, the spelling of Odia in the constitution used to be O-R-I-Y-A. That was the spelling of Odia. It later on was modified. People of Odisha said that, no, this is not the correct spelling. The right spelling should reflect our pronunciation. So it was modified to O-D-I-A. Spelling was changed. In the constitution also, you had to change the spelling. This spelling change also required an amendment. It was done through 96th Amendment Act. So my point is that not all amendments are important. Some are important, some are not. As and when the time comes, we will see which ones are important. Is the point clear? Then the syllabus itself says significant provisions. The important ones only, not all the provisions. Few are required to be known. And then something called basic structure. What exactly is basic structure? It's a concept we discuss under fundamental rights. So we just saw that amendments are allowed. We can modify everything. So my question to you is, can we modify that India is no longer a democracy? India is now a dictatorship. Narendra Modi is a new king of India. Can you modify this also? No. You are agreeing that some things can't be modified. Other things can be modified. Those things which cannot be modified are called basic features. And collectively, all such things are called basic structure. That's it. But how did this basic structure concept come into picture? What are those things that can't be modified, etc.? We'll discuss under this topic, basic structure. Okay. Then functions and responsibilities of the union and the states, issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure. What is meant by federal structure? What is federal? In the NCERT classes, we had discussed this word federal. What is meant by federal? Any government which has two levels, union and state. That is called federal structure. Two levels, union and states. So there itself you can mention. So all the things I am writing, you can mention there only on the sheet. Okay. And also this issues and challenges pertaining to center and states. This is a very important topic for the exam. You will get a mains question on this topic. It's a guarantee. Okay. This topic extremely important. Please rest assured that you will have one question from this topic in your mains exam. It will happen. And then devolution of powers, meaning providing powers and finances, money up to local. What is local level? Panchayats and municipalities are called local level. Whenever you see the word local level, always understand that we are referring to panchayats and municipalities and challenges therein. Again, I will not discuss details right now, but just understand you will get a question from local self-government in the exam. It is a guarantee. Is the point clear? Please expect a question from this topic. Then separation of powers between various organs, disputes redressal mechanism and institutions. Separation of powers between various organs. So we have three organs of the state. Yes. What are the three organs of state? L, E, J. Legislature, executive and judicial. 3 organs of the state. So again, this is also an important topic. Not as important as them, but pretty important. So this is the top tier, most important. And then this is second tier, very, very important. So you either get question from separation of powers, or you will get question from this topic. One of them will be there. Structure, organization and functioning of the executive and the judiciary. So judiciary is important, both for prelims as well as mains. Okay, this topic is important, judiciary. In the recent time, we are seeing questions being asked from judiciary in the prelims and mains, both. Clear? Then parliament and state legislatures, structure, functioning, conduct of business, everything that is required for you to be known on how things happen in the parliament. Clear? Important topic, both for prelims as well as mains. Both prelims and mains. Very, very important. Like, for example, these two are mains topics only. You won't get a prelims questions on these two topics. Very rarely from panchayats, you'll get sometimes a question in prelims. But here, prelims plus mains, both questions can come from this topic. Okay. Now, every 5 years, we have elections in our country. I hope you're aware. Now, every 5 years. To govern the election process, there are 2 laws in the country. Representation of People's Act, popularly called RPA. Okay. This law is called RPA. So there are 2 laws. One is called RPA of 1950. The other is called RPA of 1951. Point clear? RPA 50, RPA 51. Okay. Very, very important. The law of 1951 is very important. In the last 7 years, we have seen 6 times a question asked from this 1951 law. And under that law as well, only a small part of it. There is a small part called disqualification of legislators. From that part, you will get a question. So when we know, we'll mug up that particular section properly. Then appointment to various constitutional posts, powers, functions and responsibilities of various constitutional bodies. So there are various such bodies like ECI, Election Commission of India, ECI, NCSC, National Commission for Scheduled Castes, NCST, Commission for Scheduled Tribes, NCBC, Commission for Backward Classes. Backward is not caste, classes. Then a body called Finance Commission, etc. All these constitutional bodies will be covered under this topic. Okay, so these are all examples of constitutional bodies. Clear? And then we have some statutory and other quasi-judicial bodies. Now, what is the statutory? Statutory primarily refers to legal bodies. I'll come to the difference shortly. But under this topic, this part is important. These are all under governance. This quasi-judicial. What is meant by this word quasi? Quasi or quasi? Both pronunciations are correct. What is quasi or quasi? Any idea? Semi, partially. So Quasi-judicial meaning semi-judicial body. Bodies which are like judiciary but not entirely judiciary. A very good example is tribunals. Tribunals or tribunals, again both are correct pronunciations. So tribunals. Important, but in the last few years we have not seen many questions being asked from this topic, but in between UPSC got obsessed with it. 2018, 19, 20, 21, back-to-back questions were asked. Last year there was a question, but nevertheless. So this is your polity and constitution syllabus. Okay, is the point clear? No confusion. So what you have to do, since you have the syllabus copy with you right now, okay, every day when you come to the class, just devote 2 minutes of your time and go through the syllabus. You should know what kind of things need to be covered in the exam. It is very important. And do this exercise for all the topics or all the subjects. So when I began our class shortly, few minutes before, I said that there are 3 things that you need to know as far as this exam is concerned. The first thing is, why is the subject important? We saw the number of questions being asked. Second is the syllabus of the exam. We just saw the syllabus of the exam. Now the third thing that you need to also understand, and I'm sure if I don't tell you this right now, you will ask me later on. Sir, please tell me the magical book list. If I read those books, I can clear the exam. Right? Book list is important because half your preparation journey, you're trying to find out that magical book list only. What are those books from where questions are being asked? I wish there was a book list like that. We have some books that you can refer to, magical or not, it's up to you completely. Okay. So the next aspect is understanding the book list. But just a small point. So you can firstly write syllabus. So when you turn back your next page, you have empty space there. Okay. You can get a copy from this. All of you have a copy? So in the next page only you have empty space there. These are your notes. Write on them freely. Of course, if you have too big a font size, this is meant for normal human font size. So please write normally only. I have left the space based on years of experience of how students write. But if somebody has too big a font size, control your emotions. In the UPSC also you are given limited pages only to write the answer. Same way. So this is your practice of using limited space. So just to collect all these things that we saw in the syllabus, there are 5 basic components in the polity and constitution syllabus. The first one is knowing the constitution. This is what we need to study. Number 1. Number 2 is important statutes. What is meant by statute? S-T-A-T-U-T-E, statute. Statute simply means law. I could have written here important laws. But then laws are meant for kids. You are legendary people. You will now use complicated words like statutes. Okay. Don't use normal words. Normal words are for young kids, noobs. You are legends. So we'll use complicated words to impress other people that we have a lot of knowledge. Right? That's a first sign of showing that we have knowledge. Unnecessarily use complicated words. Have you seen the Hindu newspaper? Uselessly, they will complicate the idea. Simplest ideas are complicated. This is the art of philosophy. If you can complicate something normal, aspirant. Okay. So important laws, like I mentioned, RPA is a law. So some important laws need to be studied in the exam. Then sometimes some government notifications also become important. Government notifications. sometimes some of them become important. Okay. Then, in fact, one of the most important parts of your exam court judgments. Very, very important. In our entire journey, we'll be discussing this multiple times regularly on the court judgments. Clear? What the Supreme Court has said. So when I say court judgments, I don't want you to know who filed the case, how many kids did that person have, okay, was he or she married or not. That's not of any concern to us. Our concern is, what did the court say? What were the court's instructions? What were the court's guidelines? That's it. So, court judgments. Is the point clear? Now, in our country, like in every country, not every rule or regulation can always be written. Sometimes some rules are not written. Okay. They are just practiced as a part of our tradition. For example, let's say touching your elder's feet. Is it mentioned in some rule? No, it's a part of a tradition. Similarly, in politics also, there are some traditional things. This is how things are being done always. Is it mentioned somewhere? No. That's called conventions. So we should know the famous political conventions also. Conventions or customs, or you can call it tradition. Okay, that's it. Your entire syllabus can be summarized into just these 5 topics. I'll give you a very nice custom or tradition that you will love to know. There's a person called governor. Every state has a governor. Your state also has a governor. Now, what is the qualification to become a governor? In the constitution, they have mentioned 2 qualifications. You have to be a citizen and your age should be 35 years. That's it. Nothing is mentioned. Okay. So, there is a separate article. We'll discuss this later on in detail. Article 157, which talks about qualification of governor. You have to be a citizen of India and there should be a age criteria. That's it. Now, please do a simple task when you go home. You observe the governor of your state or any state of the country and check from which state the person belongs to. Okay. They will never be locals. They will always be outsiders. Your governor is an outsider. Andhra governor, outsider. Tamil Nadu governor, outsider. That is not mentioned anywhere. But we have always followed this practice. Governors are always outsiders. This is called a convention. Now, what is the logic for it? Logic is very simple. The logic, you can think of it like this, that, people say that if governor is an outsider, he has no interest in local politics, and they let the CM function properly. So that they don't interfere with the CM in the political functioning, outsiders are appointed. And this practice is so strong that some people feel that it must be written somewhere. How can we follow this strictly? Because we are following it strictly. This tradition was broken only once. In 1967, Venkat Vishwanath became the governor of Kerala and he belonged to Kerala. That is the only exception to this tradition. So this is an example of a custom which is not mentioned anywhere but is still followed. And these customs are important. We should know the political customs in the country. Is the point clear? Okay. So this was the syllabus. Now coming to our third aspect, which is the book list. So there are some NCERT books. Now see, there is no fixed guideline for UPSC. There is no guideline on this is how things should be done. For every subject, the faculty there is in the best position to know and to help you and to tell you what exactly needs to be done for that subject. So I would at least for what books to refer to. Okay. So don't use the polity suggestions to cover history and geography. Their suggestions will be different. Now, NCRTs are known as the holy grail, the Bible of polity or UPSC. True, not always. Not polity at least. Okay. So these are two NCRT books. Democratic Politics, Part 1 and Part 2. I'm not sure whether you have covered NCRT Polity course. Some of you have. So some of you must have read those two books because we had covered class 6 to 10 NCRT. So some of you might have joined late. So those who have joined late, do you have the access to NCRT course? Those who joined late? No. Okay. Does not really, don't worry, does not really matter. We'll be covering everything and in way more detail. So if at all you are somebody who is still in the graduation first year, second year student, you can read these two books if you wish to. Otherwise, these are very basic books. I would say avoid these only. Okay. So you already started writing your names and all, but you can avoid. These two may be avoided. If you are somebody who has zero understanding of what is politics, and in the classes you are just getting a complete, all the concepts are bouncers for you. You have no clue what is happening around. Then maybe you can read these very simple, easy books on basic information. Democratic Politics, Part 1, Class 9th and Part 2, Class 10th. Okay. Then we also have two more NCRT books. Now here the NCRT books are important. Okay. Political Theory, Class 11th. Please purchase this book. This book needs to be purchased, or you can download it free of cost. It's your choice. Okay. So please purchase this book, download this book, and your task from today, apart from all the classes going on, read one chapter daily. It can be done very easily. There are 10 chapters in this book. 10 days, you'll be done with this. We'll take around 100 hours to finish polity, roughly 90 to 100 hours. 2 hours of classes, which won't be 2 hours because I'll be taking a test almost every day, 15 minutes minus in that. So I'll be here for around 1.5, 2 months. Sad, but you'll have to see the same face for almost 2 months. Now, the target is within the end of first month, you should have read this book. Because how do you read this book or any book in general? When you read this book today, say first chapter, just read it. Don't try to research on any topic or any word you have understood the meaning of or not. Even if you research something, don't write anything. No underlining, no writing, no making your own notes, not required. Okay? Take the book, read every chapter. Okay? Just genuine, casual, storybook type reading. If you don't remember something, does not matter. Nobody cares. Once all the 10 chapters are done, our first reading is over. Then we again go back and read it. This time, you start underlining with a pencil, not a highlighter, a pencil, important things that you feel are important. Any word, the meaning which you don't know, write there, just a bit of AI or internet, write those. Underline what you feel are important. Second reading, you underline and then keep it aside. Once the entire polity subject is over, then you again read this book. Now this time, you will realize a very important thing. You have underlined some things which are not important, which you felt were important, but are actually not important. And because you have read polity now and you have seen the PYQs, there are certain things that are actually important, but you did not underline it. We'll now erase the pencil marking and use a highlighter to underline those important points. With more knowledge, you have a better idea of what is important, what is not. Third reading is where you highlight the things with a highlighter. Once this is done, this book has been completed. Now, anytime you want to revise this book, just go to the highlighted points only. Okay? Don't highlight the entire book. Please don't do that. Few things which are important. And that's what you do for every book. The real problem that starts when we study UPSC is right from day one, we start making notes. And that puts so much pressure on you right from the first moment that the progress is slow. Firstly, casual reading. Keep the preparation fun. It is very important because this preparation will take at least 2 years of time. 1 year for coaching, 1 year for self-study. It will take 2 years. If anybody has told you it can be done before 2 years, I'm really sorry on their behalf. It is not possible. Okay. 2 years are required. 1 year for your coaching and all this drama, and 1 year for self-study. With coaching, can this exam be cleared? Yes, if you are Chitti the robot from that movie Robot, then you can. Then 10 days are enough. If you are a normal human being with very high IQ also, 2 years are required. Is the point clear? So right now, we have to make sure that we don't burn out. So don't go crazy for making notes. You start by making notes only. It irritates you. It slows down the process. You feel bored and you give up the exercise. So keep things fun. Casual reading first. And then second time, highlight. This book must be read. This is also a decent book. Actually, we'll be covering this book only in way more detail in our discussion. So this book will indirectly be covered. But still, if somebody wants to, they can freely read this book. Okay. Definitely a pretty decent book. At least better than these two nonsense books. These are very basic in nature. Very nice, very easy and simple. This one might not be that easy to read also. So what I will do is every time I teach a topic, I will tell you which chapter from this book to read. And you can read that chapter after I have taught it. So it will make more sense. Reading it on your own might be slightly confusing for you. Is the point clear? So you can write the names: Political Theory, Class 11th, Indian Constitution at Work, Class 11th. Is the point clear to all? No confusion? Great. Now, just to clarify why I stress so much on political theory as a book. You know, back in 2014, when this BJP came to power, there was a lot of discussion in the country about, how Indian secularism is under threat, minorities under threat, etc. And this discussion has been going on for the past 10-12 years now. But look at UPSC's approach. While the entire country is discussing on the challenges of secularism, UPSC says, don't tell me bad things, you tell me good things. What can other countries like France learn from the Indian Constitution's approach to secularism? What can a country like France learn from Indian secularism? Is the point clear? So you have to know about what is the French secularism and what is the Indian secularism. And see, this question has been repeated after 5 years in a different form. Discuss India as a secular state and compare with the secular principles of the US Constitution. So now comparison between Indian and US secularism. Don't panic. These are one country only. USA and France follow single model of secularism. That is called Western secularism. We follow Indian secularism. Whether they write France or USA or Canada or UK, the point is the same. They all follow a similar type of secular value and we follow different type of secular value. Comparative question. On the face of it, it's a challenging question. But if you had studied this book, Political Theory, properly, in this book, there's a chapter 8, which describes this very idea, the difference between Indian secularism versus US or Western secularism. Simple. But if you don't study, then ultimately, you know very well, you'll miss out on this question. So please focus on studying this book. Not just because a question was asked, but this book will give you a lot of fodder material for the exam. Is the point clear? That is the idea of these books. Now, moving on. Of course, Lakshmikant, very, very famous as a book. Lakshmikant is a pretty decent book for prelims. Mains, not so much. It's not a book for mains exam actually. but then yeah, it is a challenge. Books normally, standard books don't cover the mains aspect normally, especially in a slightly dynamic subject like polity. But still, I think we could have done a better job, but Lakshmikant has not made any effort to change itself to suit the mains needs. So sadly, not a great book for mains. In fact, I would say a pretty below average book for mains, but for prelims, decent book. But too much of information, excessive information, uselessly. They have made the book very thick. I think it is because of the Indian values. Because the book, I think, costs now 600 rupees. I'm not sure what is the price. If you are paying 600 rupees, Indian customer wants more pages. I want more pages in the book. I'm paying 600 for it, right? So if you get a thin book for 200 rupees or 500 rupees, you'll know, useless. So for us, quality is of no concern. Quantity. Buy one, get one free. Even if you don't need something, we'll buy it because 1 + 1 offer. So I think maybe that's one reason. They have added useless information in this book. Half the book is not required for the exam. The rest half is required. So you can keep this book handy, and when a chapter is done, I'll tell you which chapter to read from Lakshmikant. So selective reading of Lakshmikant is helpful. Then you can also carry a copy of Constitution of India. This is what is called Bare Act. You can go to any shop and ask for Bare Act. Bare Act of Indian Constitution. These books have no explanation. It's just articles mentioned there of the Indian Constitution. So whenever any topic is taught, towards the end, I'll mention all the important articles. If you want, you can read those articles from this Bare Act also. Why is that required? Because it might help you build that language required to write answers. See, every subject has its own language. Okay. And if you can write that language in the paper, then your answers stand apart from other answers. So this entire drama of UPSC exam depends on only one thing, that is answer writing. Okay. If this is not great, then you can't clear the exam. Knowledge is of no importance if you cannot replicate the knowledge on paper. Okay. So your target has to be to improve answer writing, writing better answers. That is what we'll also aim to do, writing better answers. Clear? So all the knowledge we are investing and learning is to write better answers. So in that case, reading the articles from the Constitution will help you a lot, especially after I have explained everything. So you will also be able to understand what words are written there. Okay. So yes, advisable that you carry a copy of Bare Act. Also, as an aspirant, this copy looks, even Rahul Gandhi carries a copy of the Constitution nowadays. You have seen him showing a red book everywhere. So if he can carry it, you can also carry it, no problem. And as an aspirant, it will look nice only. In your bookshelf, you can put this and click a selfie showing how sincere you are as an aspirant. So that's also important, right? And I have given you various publications. So universal, professional, you can purchase anything. No, because if I give you only one publication, you will be like, maybe this fellow is promoting that publication. So I have no idea what these publications are. I have not met their founders and all. So this is not a promotional video. Okay. You can watch anything, purchase anything. If you feel, no, there must be some kind of promotion, very simple. You go online and search for Constitution of India PDF. Type this. You'll get a free copy of the Indian Constitution online in a PDF form, which you can then copy and save it in all the notes you have saved in the last 2 years, which you have never opened again. You can save there. So ideally, if you are okay reading online, you can, but a hard copy will not be of any concern. Prefer PM Bakshi, it is very popular, or you can purchase this also. Any of them are okay.